This is TalkPosh. Hang on, I think we should better refer to VAR on that. Yep, this is TalkPosh. Hello and welcome to TalkPosh, supported by our friends at the Serpentine Green Shopping Centre. Tonight we check out our new signings, George Cooper and Chris Forrester, discuss the home win against Oldham, plus look forward to this week's Cup games versus Lincoln and Leicester. We want you to get involved in the show, so let us know what you made of Maddison's replacement George Cooper by commenting on the live feed below, or if you're watching on YouTube, tweet us at TalkPosh. So lads, the Prawn Sandwich Brigade were out in force on Saturday as we enjoyed hospitality, didn't we, Jacko?
It was very nice.
Very nice, courtesy of Steve and Motorpoint, so thank you for that. The Posh were making a meal of things on the pitch, well in the first half anyway. Jacko, you nearly fell asleep in the first half, didn't you, mate?
It was awful, we deserved to be 3-0 down. It was disappointing. Like I say, even at the end of the game, you'd think, fair enough, we won it 3-0, but we couldn't really argue if we'd lost. I mean, let's be honest, we should have been down to 10 men after 55 seconds. Which Dale was watched how many times now?
Mate, plenty of times. It's just absolutely fantastic.
Well done to Liam Shepherd. So
as soon as it happened, though, didn't we? In the crowd, we said, "Oh, he's off. He's going. And it was a naughty chat, and then on replay, like you were saying, Dale, it just looks even worse.
It was more than a naughty challenge.
It's like it's not a tackle. It's like I reckon
it's assault.
He's watching Greg Rutherford. You know, Steve just pulled out of the Commonwealth Games. I think he's having a go. See if he can do a long jump. It must be like about 14 metres.
Yeah.
Mate, that's one at Liam. No. It's just wrong.
You really want to upset him, Dale? He'll come
lunging at you.
Lunge at you, crack.
Mate, lunging me like that.
When me and Alex were saying, they were passing the ball between each other so well that if only they had someone that actually could finish the ball, they really could have punished us. You know, and then obviously it got to the second half when it did go down, and obviously we got the 1-0 from Junior, which everyone's pleased about. But when they went down to 10 men, you just thought you could see another couple coming. And we got the job done, but in my eyes, it wasn't as convincing as what it should have been.
Yeah, that's true. And I think that, we did get the job done, but we came a copper against 9 men, Milton Keynes, a couple of weeks ago. So, but it was good, though, Ben, weren't it, to get someone out of a team that are down near the bottom of the table.
We haven't really struggled as badly as people think when it's them coming to our place. It's more when we go to their places. Like we said last show as well, especially around the Manchester area. Oldham, we've still got Bury to go, obviously.
Have you not seen the bottom 3 in League One? Oldham, Bury and Rochdale. We could lose all 3 of them. It would be so nice.
But that's what I mean. When we have them at London Road, we're not generally that bad. I mean, Adam said, the first half performance really wasn't anything to write home about. Shepherd, we should have been down to 10 men. That's our bit of luck for this part of the season. He's also avoided a ban, and the fact he got booked means that they can't retrospectively go back and ban him for it either.
Well, I don't know about a ban. I reckon he should be in prison, mate. That was proper wrong.
But no, it was. I'm not too bothered about first half performances like that when you pull out a better second half one. And second half, there was only one team in it at that point, especially once you say as they went down to 10 men.
Chris, what did you make of the game?
Got to agree with the comments there that it wasn't the best performance by far, but you know, we've banged on about it before. If you can keep it clean, keep a clean sheet our end, you always got a chance going forward, and essentially that's what we did. They didn't really create that many chances at the end of it, regardless of all the play they kind of had in the first half. We're probably a bit fortunate that, was it Doyle for them was injured? Yeah. That could have caused us a bit of trouble. But you know, the way we've slipped up so many times this season against lower half opposition, you know, I just think we just got to take the victory as it is.
Absolutely.
Just take it and just plough on ahead again.
And I think you raised a really good point in terms of the clean sheet, because that's now 3 clean sheets in a row for Posh. So it's really good. Dale, we don't talk about the defence too often, mate. But with this settled back four at the moment, I think it's pretty decent.
I'm happy with it. I'm more of a sort of a defensive sort of person anyway. Not that I attack, but it's good to see it solid. Tafazoli is seemed to be, holding his own, being more, I don't know, more assertive. Whether or not it's because he's sort of comfortable that he's a first choice of equal first choice with Taylor. It just seems settled. I think also, obviously, the fact we've got a proper right back in place. No disrespect to Penny, I think he's obviously up and coming, but apart from that tackle, Shepherd's been superb. So we've got a settled back four. They know each other now. They know what they're doing as a line. Fair play. Bond. I think there's also that bit of uncertainty about what's happening with Bond. Is he staying? Is he going? No, he's staying. Fair play. I think it's settled. It's controlled. It's encouraging.
And it keeps the club captain Baldwin out of the team as well, don't it? Which is pretty strange, but I think probably the right decision, bearing in mind the way the defence is playing.
Definitely, and like I say, you do feel sorry for Jack because he's a lovely lad off the pitch as well. But it's since obviously he has stopped coming in, we just look like we're settled at the back now. So full well that every game, touch wood, there's no injuries, that we know what back four we're going to have, and it's looking like the midfield now is settled as well.
Just going back to the defence, also I think what has also helped is the fact that Grant himself has been sort of that holding midfielder.
Well, it's the first line of defence, isn't it?
It's the first line.
Well, it's not the attackers, but in terms of
going back to Grant, I think he's sort of like he slipped into that sort of the five wing back we was trying to play at the start of the season.
Yeah.
But what I'm quite encouraged about with Grant is obviously last season, beginning of this season, I kept knocking him for his petulant bookings, etc. How long's it been since he had a booking?
We came
go on, mate.
Since he's been captain.
Since being captain, yeah.
Started a booking.
Exactly, and it shows a bit of discipline. He got his 2 bans or suspensions, whatever. Shows a bit of discipline, and with him having a bit of discipline, I think the rest have looked up as well. The defence, the rest of the midfield, and it's starting to come together. I know the performances haven't been superb, but what they have been is sort of teamwork, team-like, with the majority of the players on the pitch.
Just going to read a couple of comments that came in. Craig Lyons, a defence always better without Baldwin. He then does later agree with Adam and say he's a nice lad, but far too many errors. Paul says, what frustrates me is the high balls into our 3-foot strike force. Fine as long as you're both lean. So if you both lean into the centre back to trouble and pick up the second ball, 9 out of 10 neither happen. Much better when we keep it on the floor. Can't disagree with that.
It's what happened against MK, though, wasn't it? MK just camped in and just said, go on, cross the ball, because we've got a foot on each of your strikers. We'll happily defend every cross that comes in.
That's frustrating because, say about the long balls in, the high crosses. I picked it up a few months back, and I got slated by Barra, but, the likes of Madison, he can whip the ball in. And he doesn't have to whip it in high. If he whips it in sort of chest height, low feet level, which he's very good at doing, why not do that? I don't understand why we want to sort of lump it in high.
We don't need to.
Play to our strengths. Play to our strengths.
I was telling Alex off air earlier that I don't know if you saw that video that came out of Phil Marriott's 18 league goals this season. So I sat there and watched it. So only out the 18, only 2 of them have been from outside the box. 12 of them have actually been like sort of, I'm not saying tap-ins, but inside the 6-yard box.
It's his job, like, that's what.
That is his job.
That's his job.
This is what you're saying about Madison. If he can pinpoint where that ball is going for Marriott,
but he can do it.
It's working.
He can do it. But I don't understand why he puts the eyeballs in. But when he does put the balls in that people can't get hold of, sulking like a whatever, moaning because they ain't got the end of it. Just
is it getting too predictable what he's doing? That's the only other thing. Because other teams are going to do their homework on the top ones.
Don't just sell him. I don't like it.
We'll talk about that later, Dale. Actually, mate. I just want to first. You might have noticed that in the speech at the start that I said the new signings, Cooper and Chris Forrester, weren't a mistake. He looks like a new signing, don't he?
Oh,
he's been superb.
I mean, let's face it. We've gone out and we've replaced Madison without him actually leaving.
Twice.
I mean, twice because we've got Joe Ward as well.
Well, no, 3 times then because that was Lloyd's original appointment as well.
Yeah. Well, we don't know where Danny's going to be, do we, at the moment? So, but at the moment, like I say, even if someone was to come in late and get Madison, at least we know we've got 2 decent backups. And if he had left and we signed them afterwards, you'd be pretty happy with the people we'd replaced him with. The fact we've got all 3 at the club, it's added bonus, isn't it?
And he's keeping Doughty out by miles because I mean, there was I think in the first half there was a little bit of disappointment with Forrester and he knew what he'd done wrong. But you look at the ball which
it wasn't just that ball though. I mean,
he had that shot,
and he was just spraying it around. Like, he was that was the best half performance he's had
We
in
know
a
that
long
obviously
time.
he'd had a bit of personal problems off the pitch. You know, was it when we had that hospitality against Shrewsbury back in September? He actually flew home and we asked if he was going,
and he said he wasn't. He was in his plans
but
still.
He's obviously had a bit of time over the last 2 months to get his head back together, and he's looking, like you said, a brand new sign, and back to the Chris Forrester with which, let's be honest, it's probably been since Chelsea away, hasn't it?
Yeah.
That, and I remember Scunthorpe the game before.
That's the best performance of a Posh player in years. That was.
So it's great to see it, and I just really hope that he can push on. And like you said, I mean, you love Anthony Grant anyway, but them two together really are working very well.
But with George Cooper coming in, and then you think we've got Guion to come back.
That's the other thing.
Yeah.
You know, we're forgetting about Guion.
Good position.
Also, just going back to Forrester, I think, is it any coincidence that he's playing at his best when he's not that holding midfielder?
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, he's got Grant to do that work now.
Exactly, but where when he was like swapping over with Grant and Grant suspended, etc., he was doing that position that he could do a job, but it's not been as good.
He can express himself more in that position, can't he?
So,
With the balls that he plays in that, Chris. He certainly was good on Saturday, wasn't
he? Yeah. I mean, I watched the highlights back the other day, and just watching that first touch for the goal into Cooper. I mean, you know, originally when I was seeing it live and I thought, oh, he's drilled that in a bit of, but when you watch it back and see the fact that he just taken it first time.
There's a no look past.
Well, he has. He's looked before. He knows where he plays. He's got his head up, and then it's come to him. His first time ball.
If that was on in the Premier League, sorry, I'm just messaging your other half.
Oh, yeah.
If that was in the Premier League, it would be shown on Sky Sports all of yesterday. You know, it was that good. You know, but like I say, it's good to have him back. It's good to have these players. So like Liam Shepherd, who's been out, come into the team. Stalemate his place. Forrester, that's his place there. They've just got to consistency is the big word now. Because
there's a good balance to the team as well. I think that's the key. When we were setting it with the 3/5 across the back and that, I think it was causing confusion to the central defenders weren't quite sure what they were doing. It didn't quite work all the time for Grant and Doherty in the centre of midfield and things like that. I think now we've got set back for holding midfielder. It just works for a lot of the players.
It does, but just going with that, you know, something about set. We've got the settle back for the keeper. Pretty much, Bond is obviously going to play the rest of the season now. The midfield, the two midfield. My area of concern is are we going to keep swapping the attacking lineup? You know, I mean, how many players we've got? 5, 6, 7 players vying for 3, 4 positions. You know, even with Madison getting subbed on Saturday. Obviously, you weren't happy about getting subbed, which is fair enough, I suppose, unless you had a really, really bad game. But do you know what I mean? There's going to be players that are not going to be playing. Are they going to get despondent?
No, they shouldn't. They shouldn't. You would hope they wouldn't. You hope they wouldn't. But yeah, perhaps you might. Just going back to some comments. Paul says that Forrester needs to keep it consistent. One of the cup games, I think it was Southend, Fozzie grew into it and ran it. Dipped since, but once again picked it up on Saturday and was superb. Craig Lyons, who incidentally is one of our sponsors, the spicemarket.co.uk, so thanks to him for the sponsor. The ball for Junior's goal was just as good. No luck pass. Fozzie is back, he says. And Scott says Forrester was the only player coming short to pick up the ball from the defender. He actually wanted it.
Yeah, he did do that.
So it all looks good. I just wanted to talk quickly about, I know we talked about the new signings, George Cooper. He came on. What did we make of him?
Scored on his debut. You know, what else do you say? I mean, there was saying that who was the last person to do that. I mean, obviously it was Guion.
Luke James and...
No, Guion. What?
Last person. I was saying... Yeah. Oh, sorry.
So right. There was a tweet going around, wasn't there? It was Luke James and
was it Nick Nichols?
Who
scored on their debuts, yeah. How did they get?
How deceptive they were, yeah.
But I know nothing about him. I'm not going to lie, I don't know anything about him, so I reserve judgment.
He gets a lot of assists, you'll probably hate him.
He gets a lot of assists. However,
and apparently he's got the same attitude as Madison, so there you go.
He looks like him a bit as well.
He does look like him. A lot of the crew, crew Twitter was... I think they had the same opinion as me.
That was a meltdown, didn't it? Crew Twitter, the way they announced it.
A great player, but his attitude, and a lot of them weren't sorry to see him go. Probably a bit like me at Madison, if I'm honest. But there we go.
He's a young lad still, though. You know, got time. We can knock it out of him.
Well, he certainly looked okay, didn't he? What about Joe Ward? He came on as well.
Still a bit hard to
It's hard to tell.
I don't want to give him a hard time full stop because he's got to get used to league football. He's gone from non-league to our level. He's not had previous Football League experience. I don't think he's had previous Football League experience, has he? If he has, it won't be much.
No.
But you look at the so this is what some people on social media are saying. You look at the 2 games he played against us. He ran us off the park.
Yeah, but it's FA Cup games.
And then you come into this season, and it's going to be hard.
I think he'll be all right.
He'll
He'll probably need the rest of the season to bed in, and we'll see. We'll see the best from him next year.
Will he get a chance tomorrow night or something? Maybe because obviously he's not cup tied for it because it's
he's just cup tied Saturday, isn't he?
Mm.
So you might give him a run out tomorrow night, for example.
It's one of them games though. But I think, fortunately, like McCann says, I think we're going for it tomorrow. So
yeah, we can't prioritise one cup over the other at the moment because we've got big financial
we've got chances
carrots at both of them. Yeah.
So that was a new lads. Let's just talk about Maddison. You mentioned it a minute ago, Dow. He did look pretty unhappy when he was subbed off the pitch. I actually thought that I think it might have been just me. It was almost like he was being taken off for his farewell thing.
That's exactly what I said.
I
thought they're pulling him off early because he's going to be going.
I actually really wish I was there. I'll give him 2 waves.
I don't know. I don't think it is going to be his last role. I mean, otherwise we would have heard something either yesterday or today. But it just seemed that way. And apparently he sat on the bench. Then he went down the tunnel. Then he got told to come back in the tunnel. And apparently he come bare-chested with his top off and come and sat back on the bench again. So obviously he weren't a happy chappy. But it was a bit cold. It's a bit like that geezer. What about that fan?
Oh, I found him on Facebook.
Did you?
After.
Oh yeah,
he does it every game.
Groups, yeah.
Does he?
Yeah, every game he's like that.
Why don't you start doing that again, mate? I think that'd be.
It sums up the mentality of the Northerners, really, doesn't it?
It was alright in the summer when it was raining.
So, just looking at the league then, two playoff places I think probably still up for grabs. You got 4 teams in it: Posh, Rotherham, Charlton, and Bradford. League games we've got coming up soon: Southend at home, Gills away, Scunthorpe at home, and Blackpool away. I mean, on paper they're pretty.
Well, I say Scunthorpe, but obviously they're pushing forward massively, aren't they? They're in 3rd, 4th, but it's one of them. We've got to build momentum now, and I say it's annoying, but I'm quite annoyed that we haven't got a league game next, and we've got 2 cup competitions, and it does distract us a little bit. But luckily, we've done the 2 cup games and then a league game.
It's more the league game after that sort of worries me a little bit.
Which one, the Gillingham?
Yeah, Gillingham, because when it's the last time we went to Gillingham and did well?
Last year, Junior scored in the last minute.
Okay, before that. I went to the previous 2, but I never went to that one.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. We've always sort of conceded sloppy there. I mean, it's never been a nice place. It's horrible for away.
It's a horrible away stand, yeah.
And it's always
scaffolding. It's not a stand,
scaffolding,
is it?
Yeah,
it's just scaffolding.
So, but yeah, it is. But like you say, we've just got to. It just seems like we've ever endless with games at the minute, and it's it was nice to have a week off last week. But it just seems like it's just so. We're congesting with league games as it is. We've already got
all those replays.
We beat Leicester. That's Blackpool on Tuesday night. It's just. It's hard, but then we've got the squad, haven't we? But the thing with McCann is
the momentum as well. I think it's generating for us sometimes.
Also, yeah. I mean, I'm actually looking forward to tomorrow night as well, which will be a nice break. But I am disappointed that we're not got the league game.
So just going back to that, then. So you agree? There's probably 4 teams in it, 2 playoff places up for grabs. I mean, there's still a long way to go in the season, but generally, when you look at
it is still a long way to go.
You said about we've got Scunthorpe in the next few games. They're only 7 points ahead of us. So you beat them, suddenly you're closing that to a 4-point gap. So I think they could even be pulled into it as well. I think Blackburn, Wigan, I mean, they're just going to run away with 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So who takes the playoff final?
So Shrewsbury, I think, I just can't see him not finishing the playoffs.
No.
But I think there are 3 playoff places still available if we keep the momentum.
Yeah, fair enough. Let's go back to see what's going on. I think there's bring back Wiz. Alex is saying the tea lady. Yeah, she's going off a run at the moment. Ben said Maddison goes. There's no point in us turning up.
There's every point in turning up.
Scott Endry, I think he was your mate who took your place, didn't he, on the weekend? He said, "Ask Dale to sit without a top on." No, you're all right, thank you. Freddie McDonald said, "What's the minimum we should take for Maddison?" We'll come back to that later when we talk about transfers in and out. But in the meantime, I just wanted to quickly cover the old VAR debate, because I know it's not posh related, although there was talks about the VAR being used on Saturday, but apparently it's not. Is that correct?
No, the ground's not suitable for it. Apparently.
Ground's not suitable,
The
but
ground wasn't suitable for away fans. On
what
Saturday.
does everyone think of VAR? What do people think at home about VAR? I'm going to start with Del, because I think he's going to be a bit vocal about stuff.
I disagree with it. Totally disagree with it. You know, sports is all about an element of mistakes. Makes sense, yeah?
Carry on, Del. Go on, mate. Yeah.
It's just wrong. I think we should do about it. I really, really do not like it. If we had VAR for etc., you know, we would have been down to 10 men on Saturday.
Yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt. I just think it will slow the game down. I think it's just wrong. Personally, what we should do, what the FA should do, or the UEFA, you know, right at the top, rather than wasting the hundreds of thousands on the VAR, is to sort of watch every single game back and do the proper retrospective punishment.
How do you say that word, but you can't say Guillaume?
I have no idea. But you know, granted, it will take a couple of months watching all the games back and going back. But once you start sort of giving them bans out for diving, for cheating, for play acting, for abusing the refs, whatever it may be, once we get into that sort of thing, sort of situation, it won't happen as often. So you won't have to. There'll still be mistakes, granted.
Yeah.
But I just don't like the idea of VAR.
I don't think it would have got Shepherd sent off though, because
Well,
that's
I
not
don't
the
know.
sort of decision you go back on to. It's more
It
for
may not have.
penalties.
Oh, it may not have, but-
yeah,
Goals and offside.
offside.
Well, the offside.
They wouldn't have gone back for. They wouldn't have gone back for that tackle.
No, probably
They've
wouldn't,
used it,
but-
haven't they, for the offside? Because
Yeah.
in that Leicester
And that worked
Fleetwood-
well, and it
But-
was
and
the right
also-
decision.
And also, I just don't like it. I really, honestly, I don't like it. Goal line technology push.
Okay, so
VAR.
would you change your mind if it got to a point this season where, you know, we look back on a replay, Posh weren't given a foul or whatever. We look back and replay, and it was quite clearly showed, and it cost us a playoff place or something.
That's like
It's happened though this
has
season
happened.
twice to us.
It's
already.
happened against
But that technology wasn't in place then. What I'm
So-
saying is now we've possibly got that technology to help us along that. I'm just being
If it had-
devil's
yeah, but
whatever that
if
thing's
we had
called.
it for the whole of the season, I think it's different. Because like you say, Gloucester Junior's away goal at Walsall, who was the same referee as Saturday, and then Marriott's. I
Yeah.
mean, we still came out winners on that game, though. didn't
Yeah,
we?
but
it's
still, we could have gone the other way.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I think there's far too much money involved in the game now.
And that's why, you know, rather than the VAR, we should invest the money on proper referees with proper training and go back.
But
to
there's
I'm
still
pretty
gonna
sure they
make
get proper
mistakes.
training though, mate, to be
not
fair.
every level. Come on.
No. Okay.
every
No,
level.
where the money is, they probably
Well,
get
no,
it.
there's still part-time refs that are.
Yeah, what I'm saying in the
Exactly.
Premier League, where the money is,
But
they
what I'm
probably
saying
get it.
is spend the money, spend the time assessing every game and going back and punishing players.
But that,
You
that
know,
retrospective
It will
action.
cut it down. It will cut down. It will cut down the mistakes that happen, and it will make people think that actually I can't get away with this. I can't get away with that.
There's a simple
Will it, though?
thing they can do though. They can get rid of that stupid rule that says that if the ref has booked you and
I
not
agree
seen
with that.
anything, that they can still take action. Why? Because the ref didn't see something
Yeah, I agree with
and
that.
then take a yellow.
That rule needs to
Can't you
change.
go back?
That,
Yeah.
And what I'm saying about the VAR, not necessarily just for the VAR, but the likes of Shepherd. You know, he deserves a ban. You know, he's a Peterborough player, but he deserves a ban over that.
For the
doesn't he?
hat.
You know, and I know it's not going to happen because he got a yellow card, but you know what I'm suggesting is watch every game and look at every decision and go back to retrospective. I can't say it now. You've got me
My
right.
issue with the
yeah, my
retrospective
Even-
ban thing, though, is it doesn't punish the player at the point of instance.
No,
Yeah,
it
I
doesn't.
agree with
So
that.
the
It doesn't-
opposition team
Doesn't
doesn't
benefit.
benefit from the
However,
incident.
you know, it swings and roundabouts because other teams are going to benefit and some teams are not. The team that it happened against are not going to benefit. But you know, there'll be games where.
I still don't think it even
At
benefits.
least
other
the
teams
thing is,
afterwards
You
that
get a
much.
sense of justice though. At
Yeah.
But the
least.
thing is, something's got to happen because, and I don't like VAR, but something's got to happen with all the. Let's go back to rugby, for example. You know, I know they use the whatever they call it VAR for a try, etc. But you know, look at the respect the players have got to the referee.
Yeah.
You know, football players have got no respect whatsoever to the referee.
They haven't, but unfortunately, mate, we're too far gone for
No,
that,
no, I
mate.
disagree.
We're not going to be able to bring that in. Well,
Totally
you
disagree.
think that we'll be able to bring in some sort of rule now that at every single level. I mean, this goes down to grassroots.
You've
We
got
know
to
from
start
watching our kids sometimes
Yeah.
on Saturday mornings that you get referees sort of.
You have. But
You haven't got not my kids, by the way.
Controversially as well. Controversially as
cope.
well.
We know from watching Alex.
I think this whole when they brought in this whole respect campaign for the referees and that, I think it's weakened the quality of refereeing in this country because referees don't. No, I don't think referees are scared. I don't think they feel like they can be punished for doing something wrong. They make a wrong decision, they still get a game next week, kind of thing. Back in the day, you know, I didn't agree with like players crowding around the referee, shouting in his ear and things like that. But the quality of refereeing 5-10 years ago was a damn sight better than it is now.
But is it? Or is it because you could go in hard on a tackle in the old days? You could shoulder barge.
No, just the players are bigger cheats now.
They
A
are
player
cheats.
can stand by the touchline, no one round him, kick it into touch, and then he'll put his hand up, claiming it's
and
there.
that is what I'm trying to say, is forget about the VAR. You know, we need to cut down on that. The only way of doing it is by retrospective bans, honestly.
Good.
It's
Get
gonna be a few
Dell
months.
on the
It'll be
FA,
quite
that's
a long
what I
time
say.
of happening. But I'll tell you, for short-term pain for a long-term game. But once they do it, they need to keep up on it.
That's great. Say that again. Short-term
Pain.
That's great. For long-term game.
That's right.
That's good, Dell, that, mate.
Nearly swore there. Didn't have nearly swore. Well done.
Yeah, I knew that would get people going. I think that's a really good one. Let's see at home. Paul says VAR has its place. Red card decisions, diving, offsides. Agreed. VAR would have given Marriott an extra goal, clearly over the line versus Rotherham. I mean, that would be the old goal line technology, which apparently we might be getting next season.
So just going back to the VAR, sorry, it's quite important.
Okay.
Right, the VAR is obviously for offsides. Yeah.
It's part of it, yeah.
So the thing is, how often is a player, right, on goal, the linesman put the flag up, okay? The linesman put the flag up, but the attacker will carry on. Normally they have to stop straight away, don't they? Otherwise they get booked for kicking the ball away. How often is a player going to carry on going and try and score and then moan that he wasn't offside and it goes back to VAR? Does that make sense?
I think they'll only be doing that on things like when there's an actual goal scored.
Yeah, but how do you know that you're not offside?
Oh no, well you play. Then in that case, you play to the whistle.
Got to play
You play to the
So
whistle.
if you play the whistle
And he's blowing the whistle.
and then after, all right, you watch your match of the day and you're blatantly onside, then that player's going to say, well, I should have carried on going, and then I could have gone back and said, look at VAR after.
I think it's one of these. It's in its infancy, and I think it's going to develop. And Dell wants to get rid of it. We'll see what happens. But interesting to see what you guys said at home. So thank you very much for that.
Just out of curiosity, can we just do a vote quickly?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because obviously you said you wouldn't.
I don't want it.
Who would have it?
Okay. So thumbs up if you would have it, and angry face if you wouldn't have it. Alex just put his thumb up. Alex seems nice and happy with it.
So if you know for the Leicester Fleetwood game, apparently if the ref had blown his whistle before the ball went in, they couldn't have VAR'd it. But I think the ref is told to give the advantage, he knows it's offside, to see if it develops. And
If
if
it
it's a goal,
encourages-
then he goes to VAR. If he hits it wide, the decision doesn't
There's
matter.
an encouragement there for the referee to give an advantage and let play continue and then make a decision. I think that probably works better.
It's
as well.
looking pretty well. There's a lot of thumbs coming up, but I think that was Steve smashing that through there.
Good
And
on
then
Steve.
there's a couple of angry faces as well. So it's an interesting one, and I think that will keep running through the season about that decision to run that. So let's move on. So it's the big one Saturday as the Foxes come to town. Will we hunt them down, or will we let Vardy and co run riot in our den? We will discuss that next, but first, time for the moment some of you turn off and the rest of you enjoy the delights of the Knowing the Opposition quiz. 2 teams, 4 questions each, all about Leicester City. Right, we've got Team Adele back and Team Bench.
Forgot all about it.
Forgot all about it?
Literally.
That's unlucky for you. So, Team Adele, do you want to go first or second?
I think it's irrelevant.
Go first, 'cause it might be an
Okay,
easy
first, easy question. The nickname.
one. Oh, Foxes, isn't it?
This is what's right?
Foxes.
Foxes, correct. Easy question for Team Bench. The stadium,
King Power Stadium.
correct. Right, question number 2. Posh last played the Foxes on 9th of February 2013 in the Championship. What was the score?
1-2-1. Grant McCann scored.
Correct, good stuff.
It's on BT last week. That was.
Chris's team. Can you name one of the 2 goal scorers that game?
Grant McCann and Dave Petrucci.
Who?
Petrucci from Man
Petrucci,
U.
yeah.
We had him
Yeah,
online,
online.
didn't we?
I don't remember.
Oh, I don't remember him. But
I
yeah.
vaguely remember it.
Some
Yeah.
have been revising, clearly.
Yeah, I know. That
No,
is-
I just remember any match against Leicester.
That's 2-2. Okay, so Team Adele, there have been 12 players who have played in the World Cup finals whilst on the books of Leicester. So can you name one of them 12?
Banks.
Gordon Banks. Well done. Team Bench, Leicester have won Sorry, Leicester have had one winner of the.
Leicester. Come on, Leicester.
Okay.
Who?
Leicester have had one winner of the Golden Boot in its history. Who was it?
Well, in World Cup history.
No. Golden Boot of like the top
right,
division.
Right. I have to... Lineker?
Is there anyone I could?
Yeah, Gary Lineker.
Gary Lineker, 3-3, good stuff. Right, final question. Team Adele. As we all know, Leicester won the Premier League in 2015-16 season. But who came second?
It was Arsenal because they went above Tottenham.
in
Arsenal come second.
Yeah, Arsenal.
Correct, good stuff. Last one for you guys. Claudio Ranieri was the man in charge of that title-winning season. What did he offer players as an incentive to keep clean sheets?
Pizza.
Pizza, good stuff. 4-4, very well done. This is a tie-break question.
Changing into sort of, didn't their chairman buy them all a car?
Yeah,
as well?
He did for winning the
Did you see the
BWF.
fleet of them outside the
I never
ground?
knew the pizza
Wow.
one.
Yeah, the pizza one there.
Alex, they just need a piece of paper each for this, mate, if that's all right, and I would read this question. Leicester won the Premier League with a team of rejects, misfits and nobodies. But what was the total cost of that squad? Okay, so total squad cost, write it down. And we'll see who is
Bearing in mind,
closest.
this is the guy that put Fleetwood had a population of 4.5 million. So I'm not feeling very confident.
£2,000. So deep in thought here.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I'd have taken the point out.
No, I'll leave it again, whatever you want to do.
Really?
No, I wouldn't be sure anyway.
Screw it, we'll go with that.
Okay, you ready?
I'm going with Dell because
Okay, Chris's team first. Can you reveal your answer?
We went 80 mil.
80 million.
Dell's gone so low, 14.5.
He might be closer though. He might be closer.
The total cost of that squad was £54.4 million.
Well done. I wasn't that far out. I was only 40 million out.
Yeah.
That was only 36 out.
Well done. Good stuff. Team Bench win it again.
Wow.
Come on, Team Down, you need to get it sorted out.
We didn't revise at all for that. We didn't do too bad.
But it's Leicester. I
I
mean,
thought
we
you
should
were-
know plenty about
I thought you were
it.
going to ask
Really.
the total points.
I didn't want to be too harsh on you boys. So anyway, let's move on then. So 2 cup games this week against Lincoln in the Chequered Trump and Leicester in the FA Cup. How excited are you lads about the games coming up?
Tomorrow it's first competitive game at Lincoln for 10 years. Well, like McCann said earlier, they haven't changed their squad that much since pre-season. That will be obviously coming in tomorrow. You know, obviously they've got Harry Anderson and Boswick. I believe Bracklington's cup tied in that game anyway, so he can't play tomorrow. It'd be good to see Boswick, but it would be bad to see Boswick because you know what Michael Boswick's like.
It'd be
I
bad
thought
to
it'd be
see
quite
Anderson.
interesting.
He's having a storm with this season.
And he's suspended.
No,
It doesn't
it
count.
was in suspension
Okay,
over the
okay.
weekend anyway. But
I
yeah,
think what would be quite interesting is watching Bozzy and Grant. I just think
Oh, yeah.
I just think they'll be-
That's
I want to be in a 50-50.
Neither of them
Yeah.
will pull out of a tackle.
And
You know, they could be broken legs.
we were saying last year
That's a good one,
that
actually,
Boswick
yeah.
and Grant can't play together. We were saying that when they were in the same team. We always said that they're both too similar. And
It'll be
proven.
interesting.
Well, Bozzy was centre half. He could have played with him.
But let's just hope it don't go to penalties. But you can only-
Why? We were quality.
The
Hey?
penalties are superb. weren't they?
Superb penalties in that.
Oh,
as
it's, like I say, we sold 750 tickets. You'd say there's going to be 1,000 fans there. They've sold 6,000. So it's actually, this is what I mean. It gets to this stage of the competition when, let's be honest, at the start of it, I thought it was absolutely woeful.
Yeah.
Obviously, I had my views last week on it being fixed, but I'm not too fussed about that because it's an hour down the road, and we win this, we're going from Wembley.
But we still see this as
13 if you're driving me.
yeah.
Hour 13, is it? I've not looked.
I'd have just bombing it down.
No,
No, but
it's
if
been
it-
awareness course.
We still see this really. This is a sort of derby to us. I mean, it used to be a big game back in the day. I mean, memories like
It was
with
regular,
Howard
mate.
Thorrington scoring his double, the only thing he ever did for us. But it was a great night. But this season, would it be fair to say, even if we didn't get promoted, that this is still one of the best seasons we've had in years? We've had a away win at Northampton, away win at Cambridge. If we beat Lincoln, that'd be an away win at Lincoln. Aston Villa, anything else? Wigan.
Both
Well, it
cups.
is
It's
already,
not a bad shout, mate, to be
Already,
fair.
it's been one of the most successful seasons for many years, isn't it? How far we've gone in the cup competition, where we are in the league at the moment.
And to beat
When was
all
the
our
last
local
time we had,
sides.
you know, fighting on
Two
two,
competitions.
three.
Yeah, yeah.
You think about it. Last year, obviously, we went out on the third round. But I know it was at Chelsea, but we didn't even get past the group stages in Czech Trade, did we?
No.
So, but I mean, yes, we've got tomorrow, but somewhere in the back of our heads, it has got to be Saturday because I actually reckon we've probably got more of a chance Saturday than we have Tuesday.
It's interesting. I think some people were saying it on air. It's interesting. Freddie said, "I'd rather beat Lincoln than Leicester." Craig said, "Leicester is the easier game."
Because of the squad that Lincoln are going to put their full
They
squad
put out of pretty much. They've done what we
so
have.
are we.
Yeah.
Leicester are going to potentially make a few changes, but we're going to put our full squad out. So we're still playing our full squad, which we've got, and we're
Are Leicester going to make changes?
I think they'll make a good.
They've got the other match just before it, ain't they? This week.
The other match.
What's
I'm sure they've got another game. Yeah.
No, I don't think
They're only in the Premier
don't
League.
think they're playing this.
No, I'm thinking of last week when they played their under 23 game, wasn't it?
No, just going back to your Trekker Trump, as you call it. You say we've been quite successful this season. Correct me if I'm wrong, but until this season, when we started winning a few games, have we only won one game since we actually won it?
You've just lost me.
What? Hang on. So have we only won
Since we
one
beat
game this Checker Trump?
When we won the trophy, when
Yeah.
when it was 2014, wherever it was.
Yeah.
Up until this season, in the previous 3 seasons, we'd only won one match in that competition.
Oh, what? I don't know.
Believable.
Someone at home, can you Google that?
And I'm pretty
Get back
sure,
to us.
And I'm pretty sure it's Barnet away. But have a look.
That'll be good knowledge, mate. If you got that right,
I think I might be right.
we'll see.
Last year we went out in group stage. We lost to Swansea and
Milton Keynes.
Milton Keynes.
And we beat Barnet away.
Yeah, when we
No,
was
it's
in the
Norwich,
out,
not Swansea.
That's right. Well, we'll see what the people at home
trying to think.
decide and get on. Just before that, we touched on it already about like what sort of team we'll put out tomorrow. Is it going to be a case of putting Joe Ward and no? Sorry, what did you say? Are they both cup tied or not cup tied?
Joe Ward won't be.
We're fine.
It's
Cooper.
Fletcher.
Cooper will be.
So Cooper will be cup tied tomorrow.
Yeah, no, yeah, I see that. He's
But
cup-tied
so
both.
Joe Ward will play
Joe
tomorrow.
Ward's just cup-tied
And
tomorrow.
what other who else? What else are you going to mix? How are you going to mix up the teams tomorrow? Are you going to?
Do you mix up the team this close to technically we're in the quarterfinals.
You play your strongest team every game at the moment.
Yeah.
You know, we have got the players to slip in if people get injured or whatnot, but you've got to play your strongest team. We're this close now. Let's just go for everything.
We're a professional football club, tired and shouldn't come into it. So we should be playing our strongest team. And I think we will. So
Fair enough. Good stuff. Well, we'll all look forward to them games. See what happens. So this week we saw Marcus Maddison's replacement join us from Crewe.
your words are
No, I don't know what's going on. I've been drinking, haven't I?
Oh, I've been out to coffee.
That
Yeah,
is
that is
because
true.
of that. I think she's here now. Actually, you might be able to shout down and get a cup of tea.
Tea lady.
There's no need to shout, just
Just message her on it. Anyway, do you believe that? Do you think that George Cooper is Marcus Maddison's replacement?
I think somebody's going winger wise because that's 2 wingers we brought in now.
2 women brought in. Like we said, we've still got Guion to come back.
Yeah, you have to imagine Madison or Lloyd's going to go, don't you?
In reality, we've got 5 wingers for 2 spots. Thinking about it.
Yeah. So the answer is probably yeah.
But then are we overloading him in midfield as well? Because if you look at Anthony Banton Forrester doing well, you've then got Jermaine Anderson who has just come back from injury. Does he need games? He's not getting in at the minute, is he?
Mm.
You know, you've got Doughty.
Leo.
Nabby.
Cooper's not actually been bought to be a winger though, has he?
No, they said
He's
it's
been
about
bought to
attacking,
play inside,
sort of.
yeah.
But it depends what formation. You know, if we're going to be, because we've always been saying about this, but we've only been playing one up top recently until Saturday. So there's always been that extra space there as well.
Well, no,
isn't there?
technically, Saturday, Junior was started in midfield.
Oh, I don't know where it was. in the
Oh,
first
it-
half.
yeah.
No, he
Yeah, it
found
was a bit
himself up front
confusing.
all the time. He got himself up front, but he was
confusing.
He
started
was
as
in
a
that
midfielder.
position that he was in before he got injured. If you remember the few games, he was playing just behind the attack, wasn't he?
Yeah, it's a weird one.
So
So
it's a nice position to be in. It's a nice dilemma to have, but I think it's probably more covering ourselves in case what
But when we've
happens
only
has
got-
happened before. And someone comes in last minute at the end of the transfer window with a silly bid. And
We
you
have
can't
only
say
got
no
a
to
week
it.
left on it though, haven't we? You know, and obviously D-Mac said that he wanted to get everything done at the start of the window.
we're talking about if he's already got a replacement in though, isn't he? So that's the thing. So he has probably done that. He's probably just waited. I mean, will he be just waiting for to get these 2 games out of the way? Then he's gone after that. I don't know.
By the looks of it, the only people we're waiting to get now are. There was word that we're going to get another right back in as cover.
he's dropped
Changed
that
his mind
now,
as
though,
well.
isn't he? Because
Yeah,
Shep's
McCann's-
been done so well.
No, but it was to cover for Shepherd.
No, but McCann's changed his mind now.
Yeah,
So
I was
yeah,
pretty
right,
sure I
okay.
read that. Yeah,
I think
yeah,
there was
yeah.
talk about letting
Penny on loan, yeah,
but
that's
no,
what I
I
was
think he's
hearing.
going to keep hold of him.
Just go back to Maddison then. So, because someone mentioned it early on, didn't they, about how much would we want for Maddison? Just quickly, any ideas? 20 million.
Anything above 6.
And above 6. Del, packet of crisps and a
£2.50.
£2.50.
I think if anyone comes in with a substantial bid,
15
and
on
it's
1.5 million. I'll take
all
1.5.
cash up
1.5
front.
million?
Yeah.
Really?
I really don't like him, honestly.
Yeah, but it's not up to you.
I don't.
Well, obviously it's not, mate.
Why ask me the question then?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I don't like him, and I'm sorry. However good a player he is, I just don't like him. Anyway,
I still reckon somewhere between 4 and 5 million. If that is the amount
Because of
right
his
up
deal.
front, no kind of add on here, add on there. If it's just pure money up front, it might be
I don't
tempting
know if
enough.
it might have been Alex that was telling me on Saturday that Luton didn't put in any sell-on clauses on Marriott even.
Well, no, that's
I wouldn't
no.
so
no.
sure about that.
No,
clause of
Bryce come out and
Yeah,
said it's
20%,
the standard.
about
They-
20%.
Someone definitely told me that Saturday.
That wasn't me.
Definitely was Alex,
That's
by
all
the
the
way.
right people.
Let's just have a quick about Maddison. Craig says Maddison will leave this window.
Window.
Oh my word! If Marriott isn't sold, Freddie said.
Bring Alex back.
yeah. Freddie said we need one more striker, good enough to take some pressure off Marriott. Then I'm not bothered how many Maddisons we have or let go. Sean said 6.5 million. Paul said between 4 and 6 million. 3 million for Maddison, says Gary.
I still think we need a striker regardless whether Marriott goes or not. And I think if someone came in for Madison with a reasonable amount that we could then reinvest some of it back in, that might be a deciding
We'd have had
factor
them.
as well.
We're going to have them lined up, ready just in case.
Yeah, but we
Yeah.
probably need the money there to do it.
Definitely. Yeah.
But it's also the issue at the moment which is going on, and I thought there's something to talk about in terms of the ground, and obviously the deals that are going on behind the scenes at the moment between the council and DMAC. Obviously, any of that money could help us towards that. How important is it for the club to own their own ground?
It's major.
Massively.
It's major important because, for a start off, we wouldn't be in a situation now where we need to sell players because the price of the rent, apparently, if you listen to what DMAC says,
$500,000.
the amount we're paying on rent, we wouldn't be paying that much, obviously. You know, you still have your rates, etc. But if we used to sell Madison forget Madison. If we used to sell Marriott for 7 million, okay, and we could buy the ground for 5-6 million, you know, it might, again, going back to my line earlier, short-term pain for long-term gain because you've got the ground, you know, you're not forking out every month higher rent, you know, so you've got extra revenue coming in because you're not sort of just pissing it up the wall on rent. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course it does. Yeah.
So I think buying a ground is a major sort of part of the future of Peterborough United.
It depends how much we get it for. I mean, because you mentioned 4, it'd be
Whatever
more
it might
because
be.
because I think we sold it for. No,
They
sorry,
bought
PCC
it for
bought
8,
it for
yeah.
8. So it will be a bit more, but yeah, I agree with
Who
you.
knows? But the other thing is once we do buy the ground, you know, it can be developed a little bit more. You know, as and rightly so, I agree with Darry. He said he wants to do this, he wants to do that to the ground, but he's not going to do it when he's only renting.
I think the big thing.
Fully agree. New toilets for a start off would be good.
Well, this is it. The club themselves don't want to invest
Rightly so.
in doing the facilities, and the council don't want to do it because they're thinking it's going to get flogged soon.
Exactly, it's like renting a house. You know, you're going to rent a house. You're not going to put brand new patio windows.
No, you won't. No, I agree with you.
Honest to God, if any landlord around the city had a house and left it in some of the states that you see at the club, you know, the state of the toilets, things like that, it'd be uproar.
Yeah.
There'd be uproar. But
Yeah, it's true.
Ironically enough, though, this is a really cynical part of me, but I honestly used to think, well, still a part of me does, that we dragged this out so it's done after we get promoted. That way we don't have to pay for the stand to be redeveloped. to the London Road. If we go up, who pays for that stand at the moment? It's the council, not us.
the rumour I heard though was that the Moyes End, when it got redeveloped, they got a hell of a lot of grant funding from the EU.
Yeah, they would have done.
And
Well,
the
Allianz
reason-
Centre is based on
The
EU
reason they
funding.
want to push it through is something similar that they're on about getting some funding towards London Road.
Yeah, interesting.
And you've got the old Brexit issue. If we come out of the EU, that funding dries up.
The old TalkPosh talks Brexit.
But no.
Let's not talk
This
politics.
is mental.
Just buy the grand, sell
Yeah.
Madison. It'll be all right.
Let's just go back to that. Craig said most important thing ever is owning the ground.
It is.
Then talking about Washington, Sean said I can sense Washington coming back. I see
Not
it's
on
not
the
up here
wages
at
he's on
QPR.
now, no.
I don't think we'd have him back because I generally don't. Well, D-Mac keeps sort of praising Washington. He's not stupid. You know, having Washington back would be a mistake.
Washington ain't going to go down from about 15 grand a week.
We got to still selling Washington for the amount we did to QPR. We mugged we mugged them right off.
We're nearly about finished. Just before we go though, it's Prediction League. It's sponsored by Serpentine Green Shopping Centre, who kindly donated this prize that you can win if you top the league at the end of the season. Chris, how's it all going?
Well, this week there was my laptop might have blown up. So,
Bad time.
So I haven't updated it yet. But yeah, I think most people would have probably gone for a win anyway.
I'm pretty sure there's some.
My boy
went
3-0.
Yeah, we both went 3-0 this end as well. So
there's a few points.
2 weeks in a row, I've got the right score actually.
Oh, nice.
So I wish I put some cash on it. To be fair,
wish you did. We might so we might get that tweet out just showing the top 50 at some stage. That'd be good.
Yeah.
Cool. And Adam will get another tweet out just asking for your predictions for the game on Saturday against Leicester. Just before, so we want your prediction, Dale. Leicester
4-2 medicine.
4-2 medicine. Yeah.
Why don't you change it?
Do you know, I will change it.
Because if you change it, it might be 4-2 medicine.
Yeah, I'm going to change it.
Yeah.
I'm going to change it, right? I'm going to go 3-1 Posh, and I'm going to go.
Come on, game's on Saturday.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Forrester.
Oh, big call. Jacko?
That's huge, isn't it? That's throwing things in the mix works. I'm going to go for 2-2. I think we'll take them back to their place. And I'm going to go for Stephen Taylor.
I'm going to go 1-1 as a replay and Junior.
I'm literally about to say exactly what you did.
That's fine, mate.
1-1 Junior.
Well, that's nice, isn't it? Yeah, that's nice.
I'm going to go 1-1 as well.
Oh.
I'm going to go, controversially, I'm going to go Vardy for the first goal.
Okay.
Vardy.
Yeah.
Good stuff. That is pretty much it. Just before we go, we want to thank all our sponsors, Serpentine Green Shopping Centre, Head to Head Barbers, and also our friend Craig Lyons and the spicemarket.co.uk. Thanks to all the lads in the studio and you at home for watching. Excuse you, Dale.
Thank you.
Up the posh.
Up the posh.
Yeah.